The glittering lights of the world's most famous arenas have long been the backdrop for the extraordinary lives of the individuals who capture our collective imagination. For decades, the public has been fascinated by the intersection of sports excellence and global entertainment culture, creating a unique breed of modern folklore where legendary achievements on the field meet unprecedented milestones in the music industry. It is a world defined by massive stadiums, deafening roars of tens of thousands of fans, and an unrelenting spotlight that follows every single movement, every gesture, and every choice made by those at the very pinnacle of their respective professions. When two distinct universes of this magnitude begin to align, the resulting narrative transcends traditional media coverage, turning ordinary human milestones into grand events that command international attention and spark endless fascination. Long before the grand halls of historic venues are filled with thousands of expectant guests, the foundation for these monumental moments is laid in the quiet, everyday decisions of individuals who are simply trying to navigate their lives while carrying the immense weight of global fame. The journey to a truly historic gathering is never linear, filled instead with subtle hints, public expressions of deep familial bonds, and the quiet anticipation of a community that watches every chapter unfold with bated breath, eager to see how a modern story of companionship and success will ultimately write its next grand chapter. Before diving deeper into the remarkable journey that brought these two worlds together in one of the most talked about events of the decade, we invite you to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our in-depth coverage of the moments that shape our cultural landscape. The anticipation surrounding major milestones in the lives of public figures often builds slowly over months and years, fueled by a genuine sense of connection that audiences feel toward the people they watch on television, listen to on phones, or cheer for from the upper decks of crowded stadiums. This deep-seated curiosity is not merely about the spectacle itself, but rather about the relationships that anchor these individuals through the chaotic storms of public life and unprecedented success. Family has always stood at the very center of these narratives, serving as a grounding force and a source of unwavering clarity when the rest of the world becomes a blur of cameras, interviews, and constant public scrutiny. Within this specific context, the bond between siblings often takes on an even more profound significance, acting as a reliable bridge between the ordinary childhood memories of the past and the surreal reality of their current collective achievements. When one brother achieves legendary status on the football field, securing multiple championships and establish himself as a defining force in professional sports, his journey is rarely walked alone. It is shared intimately with a sibling who understands the precise demands of that high-stakes environment, having walked the very same path of rigorous training, intense public pressure, and ultimate athletic triumph. This shared understanding creates a foundation of trust that cannot be replicated, ensuring that no matter how massive the external world becomes, there remains at least one person who sees the individual behind the celebrated public persona. As the months unfolded throughout the previous years, this familial foundation became increasingly visible to the public, offering a heartwarming glimpse into how a tight-knit family navigates the entry of a global phenomenon into their inner circle. The older brother, an accomplished and highly respected figure in his own right within the world of professional sports, quickly became a focal point for media inquiries, not just about his own legendary career and popular media ventures, but about the rapidly evolving personal life of his younger sibling. Rather than shying away from the bright lights or treating the situation with distant formality, he chose to embrace the moment with a characteristic blend of warmth, humor, and profound respect for the incredible accomplishments of the new person entering their lives. His public commentary over the years became a testament to his protective yet celebratory stance, consistently emphasizing that his primary goal was simply to be supportive of his brother's happiness and the remarkable journey he was embarking upon. When asked by reporters and commentators about his experiences attending massive record-breaking stadium concerts across the ocean, he spoke not as a detached observer, but as someone genuinely awed by the sheer scale of artistry and the historic nature of what was being achieved on a nightly basis on global stages. He frequently noted how truly remarkable it was to witness someone command the attention of millions over the course of a career, highlighting a deep mutual respect that exists between individuals who operate at the absolute peak of human performance. This public display of support was never about capturing headlines or seeking a share of the spotlight, but rather a reflection of a genuine desire to see a beloved family member thrive in both his professional endeavors and his personal relationships. The conversations shared on popular broadcasting platforms and during morning television appearances consistently revealed a deep sense of happiness for the couple, with the older brother expressing a simple, heartfelt wish to be involved in whatever capacity would bring the most joy to the upcoming celebrations. He made it known to the world that his happiness was entirely dependent on the happiness of the two people at the center of the story, stating that however he was asked to participate, he would do so with a full heart and total dedication. This sentiment resonated deeply with millions of observers around the globe, who recognized in his words the universal truth that true familial love is measured by a willingness to stand by someone's side during their most significant moments of joy. As the date of the historic gathering drew closer, the quiet conversations behind closed doors began to transform into concrete preparations for an event that would ultimately bring together a massive assembly of friends, family, and peers from every corner of the entertainment and sports industries. The stage was slowly being set for a celebration that would not only mark a profound personal commitment, but would also serve as a monumental intersection of two of the most influential forces in modern culture, leaving an indelible mark on the collective consciousness of fans worldwide. The quiet anticipation that had been building for months finally culminated in a spectacular reality when the calendar turned to the 3rd of July, a date that would forever be etched into the archives of modern pop culture history. The venue chosen for this monumental gathering was none other than Madison Square Garden, an iconic arena that has stood for generations as the ultimate coliseum of sports and entertainment in the heart of New York City. To transform a venue known for historic boxing matches, legendary basketball games, and sold-out rock concerts into an intimate yet grand setting for a wedding was a logistical feat of staggering proportions. As the sun began to set over the Manhattan skyline, casting a warm golden glow across the bustling streets below, the massive iron and concrete structure of the garden was utterly transfigured. Inside, the vast arena was filled with an ocean of flowers, intricate light installations that mimicked a starlit summer night, and a custom-designed altar that stood at the very center of the floor where so many historic battles had previously been fought. A massive guest list of approximately 1,000 people began to file into the building, creating an unparalleled assembly of Hollywood royalty, legendary athletes, chart-topping musicians, and close family members who had traveled from every corner of the country to witness the union of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. The atmosphere inside was charged with an electric combination of high-stakes glamour and deep emotional significance, as the sheer scale of the event made it clear to everyone in attendance that they were participating in a piece of living history. Standing right at the center of this whirlwind of excitement was Jason Kelce, fulfilling the role he had openly hoped for during casual podcast conversations nearly a year prior. Clad in an elegant tuxedo that contrasted sharply with his usual rugged football attire, the older brother stood proudly as the best man, a position that carried immense sentimental value for both siblings who had fought side by side through years of intense athletic competition. Across the altar, representing the bride with equal devotion, was Taylor's brother, Austin Swift, who served with distinction as her man of honor. In a deliberate departure from traditional large-scale wedding parties, the couple decided not to include an extensive line of additional groomsmen or bridesmaids, choosing instead to keep the focus entirely on their immediate siblings. This decision added a deeply personal, tightly knit family dynamic to an event that was otherwise grander than most cinematic productions. When the time came for the ceremony to officially begin, a wave of surprised murmurs and delighted smiles swept through the crowd of 1,000 guests as the officiant stepped forward to take his place. It was none other than the beloved Hollywood superstar and comedy icon Adam Sandler, who had enthusiastically accepted the responsibility the very moment the couple reached out to him. Sandler brought a perfect balance of heartfelt sincerity and light-hearted humor to the proceedings, guiding the couple through their vows with a performance that kept the audience laughing through their tears. Ensuring the ceremony felt profoundly human despite the immense scale of the arena, as soon as the ceremony concluded, the celebration transitioned into a reception that was designed to push the boundaries of luxury and entertainment, sparking a wave of intense discussion that would soon captivate the internet. The couple spared absolutely no expense in creating an environment that felt like an ultra-exclusive festival, complete with massive, towering digital billboards that proudly flashed the words "Justin Taylor Married" across the venue, illuminating the night with a vibrant display of modern romance. However, it was the specific details of the reception entertainment that truly sent the internet into a frenzy of mixed reactions and passionate debates once the first whispers of the event leaked to the public. Insiders close to the event production revealed that a massive, high-stakes raffle had been organized for the amusement of the 1,000 guests in attendance. The prizes up for grabs were not typical wedding favors, but rather an astonishing collection of ultra-luxury items that left many onlookers completely breathless. Multiple designer handbags from the world's most exclusive fashion houses and a series of custom-engraved Cartier watches were distributed to the lucky winners throughout the evening, raising the stakes of wedding entertainment to an unprecedented level of opulence. The crowning jewel of this controversial raffle, however, was a meticulously restored 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle, a classic American muscle car painted in a striking custom finish. To solidify its connection to the historic evening, the vehicle was fitted with a personalized license plate that read "Justin Taylor Married," a detail that immediately divided public opinion into two distinct camps. While some guests and online observers viewed the vintage automobile and the grand billboards as a fun, over-the-top celebration of American pop culture, a vocal segment of fans online quickly critiqued these elements, labeling the entire display as embarrassingly tacky and an unnecessary show of wealth. This clash of perspectives highlighted the impossible tightrope the couple walks, where every creative choice is dissected by millions of people across the globe. Yet, despite the digital storm brewing on social media platforms, the atmosphere inside Madison Square Garden remained one of pure celebration. Where the music played late into the night and the boundaries between the worlds of professional sports and global pop music dissolved completely on the dance floor, the true nature of what occurred behind those heavily guarded doors began to surface. Just a few days later, when the key players of the evening finally broke their silence during a highly anticipated public appearance. On the 9th of July, less than a week after the historic ceremony, Jason Kelce arrived at the American Century Championship, a prestigious annual celebrity golf tournament held amidst the scenic beauty of Lake Tahoe. Surrounded by eager fans and sports journalists who were desperate for any first-hand accounts of the wedding, the legendary former center was in high spirits as he navigated the green. When approached by a crowd of enthusiastic supporters, Jason openly shared that he had an absolutely fantastic time, describing the massive 1,000-person celebration with a single emphatic word: great. The interaction took a characteristically humorous turn when a fan boldly shouted out a question asking if the rumors were true that he had consumed 15 beers during the course of the marathon celebration. Jason let out a booming laugh that echoed across the golf course, smiling warmly before looking back at the crowd and replying that he had actually consumed way more than that number. A classic response that instantly endeared him even further to the public. Shortly after Jason's candid revelations, his wife Kelce also broke her silence on the monumental event. While interacting with fans at the very same celebrity golf tournament, Kylie offered her own brief yet glowing commentary on the festivities, matching her husband's enthusiasm by describing the historic evening in New York City as nothing short of incredible, providing a definitive stamp of approval from the inner circle of the family. The ripple effects of this monumental union continue to vibrate across the global cultural landscape, proving that what transpired within the historic walls of Madison Square Garden was far more than a high-profile celebrity wedding. It marked the definitive convergence of two massive, fiercely loyal fan bases that had previously occupied entirely different sectors of modern society. For decades, the worlds of professional sports and global pop music operated on parallel tracks, each possessing its own traditions, its own language, and its own iconic figures who commanded absolute devotion from millions of people. When these two massive spheres collided through the partnership of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, it created a cultural phenomenon that fundamentally altered how media, entertainment, and athletics intersect in the 21st century. This fusion brought together the raw, adrenaline-fueled energy of the football stadium and the deeply emotional, narrative-driven world of stadium pop music, creating a new kind of shared global experience where sports fans found themselves parsing the poetic lyrics of hit records, and music enthusiasts learned to decode the complex strategies of professional gridiron plays. The true significance of this marriage lies in its power to transcend traditional demographic boundaries, demonstrating that in an increasingly fragmented media landscape, genuine human connection and shared milestones still possess the unique ability to unite a vast and incredibly diverse global audience. To fully understand the magnitude of this journey, one must look back at the incredible paths traveled by the central figures who made this historic day possible, beginning with the groom himself. Travis Kelce had already secured his legacy as one of the greatest tight ends to ever play the game of professional football. A dominant athlete whose fierce competitive drive and charismatic personality made him a cornerstone of a championship dynasty. His career was defined by years of relentless dedication, spectacular postseason performances, and a reputation for being a loyal teammate and a devoted brother. Yet, despite achieving the absolute pinnacle of athletic success and earning multiple championship rings, nothing could have truly prepared him for the unprecedented level of global attention that accompanied his relationship with one of the most successful musical artists in human history. Navigating this transition required a rare combination of humility, confidence, and an unwavering sense of self, qualities that Travis displayed consistently as he stepped out of the familiar confines of sports stadiums and into the bright, unrelenting glare of international pop stardom. His journey over the past few years became a masterclass in how to support an equally powerful partner with grace. Standing proudly by her side at massive concert venues across the globe while maintaining his own identity and continuing to excel at the highest level of his own demanding profession, equally remarkable is the journey of the bride, whose career has evolved from a teenage country singer into an unparalleled global force who shapes economic trends, dominates the music charts, and commands a level of cultural influence that draws comparisons to the biggest icons of the 20th century. For nearly 2 decades, Taylor Swift has chronicled her life through her music, creating a deeply intimate bond with a global community of fans who have watched her grow, fight for her artistic independence, and systematically break almost every record in the entertainment industry. Her historic stadium tour, which filled arenas on multiple continents and became a literal economic engine for the cities it visited, served as the backdrop for the early chapters of her relationship with Travis. The sight of the championship-winning athlete cheering enthusiastically from the VIP tents, and later making a surprise, show-stopping appearance on stage in front of 90,000 screaming fans in London, became defining images of a modern romance built on mutual admiration and a shared understanding of what it means to operate at the absolute peak of human capability. For a woman whose entire adult life has been lived under the microscope of public scrutiny, finding a partner who was entirely unfazed by the scale of her fame and who actively celebrated her monumental achievements was a profound turning point. Leading directly to the grand celebration in New York City, the story of this wedding is also inextricably linked to the journey of the families who stood beside them, most notably the brotherly bond between Travis and Jason Kelce, which has captured the hearts of millions through their popular collaborative ventures. As co-hosts of their hit media platform, the Kelce brothers have provided a candid, hilarious, and deeply authentic look into the reality of sibling dynamics at the highest level of professional sports. Jason, who recently concluded a legendary, championship-winning career of his own as one of the most respected offensive linemen in football history, has consistently served as a sounding board, a protective older brother, and a vocal supporter of Travis's happiness. His journey from a grueling final season on the field to standing as the best man at Madison Square Garden reflects the deep generational roots of a family that has remained fiercely grounded despite their sudden status as American royalty. The genuine joy expressed by Jason and his wife Kylie during their recent public appearances reminds the world that beneath the glittering surface of the 1,000-guest gala, the designer raffles, and the stadium-sized digital billboards, this historic event was, at its very core, the celebration of a family expanding its circle to welcome a new member with open arms and total devotion as the dust settles on the grand celebration of July 3rd. The narrative shifts toward the future and the enduring legacy of an event that will be discussed for years to come. The mixed reactions that emerged online regarding the sheer scale and unique elements of the ceremony, from the high-end luxury raffle items like Cartier watches and vintage muscle cars to the massive guest list, only serve to highlight the unprecedented cultural footprint of the couple. In an era where celebrity culture is often fleeting and temporary, The union of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift stands out as a genuine milestone that bridges the gap between different facets of modern entertainment, proving that the most compelling stories are those driven by authentic passion, familial loyalty, and a shared willingness to embrace the extraordinary scale of their lives. The historic gathering at Madison Square Garden was not just the conclusion of a highly publicized courtship, but the spectacular beginning of a brand new chapter for two individuals who have redefined what it means to be icons in the modern world, leaving fans around the globe eager to see what incredible milestones this powerhouse couple will achieve next as they navigate their future together. We will continue to follow every development and bring you the most comprehensive updates on this ongoing story. And you can explore all of our detailed coverage regarding the wedding and the couple's journey right here on our channel.